So here with me today is a professor of philosophy from the Faculty of Arts and Letters. He is Sir Ray Reyes. Okay. So sir, let's have a background check first. What is your full name?
Reynaldo A. Reyes. Reynaldo Alberto Reyes.
Okay. So sir, aside from teaching in the Faculty of Arts and Letters, do you teach anywhere else?
Once I taught at San Beda. That's only for one sem because I was invited to lecture in metaphysics. And after that, I declined.
Sure, why? Why did you decline? For any
Rallies.
Okay.
And of course, the schedule also of the classes then from UST to San Beda.
So sir, you're a Thomasian back in the days, right? So, are you still continuing pursuing your higher degrees here as well? So are you still a Thomasian or a full-time professor now? Okay.
I'm a full-time professor for 30 years. And I'm finishing my doctorate writing, dissertation writing.
Here then po?
Yes.
So sir, how long have you been teaching?
30 years.
30 years. Okay, sir, our topic for today is goal setting and starting anew. So, I'm gonna ask you some questions to, sir, philosophy was your course before you graduated, and back then, did you really want to become a professor or an educator?
Accidentally only because I wanted to become a priest. For your information, after I graduated from high school, I joined the Dominican Order, and that's for 10 years. So I finished my philosophy at Studium Generales of Santo Domingo, and then I finished my theology studies at UST Ecclesiastical Study Institute.
Okay.
And then, yes.
So, sir, what inspired you to become a professor?
Yeah, when I left the convent, without really intending to leave it permanently because I really wanted to become Dominican priest, I was already deacon then. Only some few months for ordination, I thought of having a sort of leave only to help my brother finish his studies with the intention of returning to the convent probably after a year. But then it's fate or maybe providence that I got my dispensation letter from Rome as early as 6 months after I left. So I had no choice but, of course, to continue teaching at AB. It was Dr. Magdalena Villaba who helped me. She was the one who invited me to teach at AB. So AB is my first, and until now I'm still connected with AB, thanks to Dr. Villaba.
Well, so, sir, do you consider yourself more hardworking as a student or as a professor? Or
Both.
Both.
Well, now my priority is, of course, as a professor, and of course to finish my studies comes later because the responsibility is before the students and that is before my own career. So I gave a priority to that. But then, of course, our society is, more interested in the credentials like having doctorate. So therefore, that's also my priority as far as my career is concerned, that I give priority to teaching.
Okay. Sir, I'm just curious, back in the days, do you have any stereotypes? Were you the geek or were you the politician of the school or an athlete? Are you considered as, let's say, do you have any status quo? Like, do you occupy any status quo or not really?
Well, right now I am the Vice President for grievance and complaints of the union, faculty union. And I think that really compounds the task I have because instead of simply concentrating on my teaching and studying, I have to deal with the problems encountered by the faculty right now. So I think this year being the Vice President for Grievance and Complaints really critical period for me, because I consider it, my work now as a Vice President for Grievance and Complaints of the Union is also a noble task in the sense that it is for the good of all. So I look at myself simply as a Thomasian who is capable of being a student, being a teacher, and as a politician, even though to be a politician is not really my goal. But I think because of our Thomasian idealism, mission, and vision, given in a particular condition or problem, we have to respond to that, and we take it as our obligation as the need arises. But given opportunity, I would prefer to remain at the background, teaching and studying, because I think I prefer to write books to teach rather than meddle myself with political problems.
Okay, so sir, I'm sure that many Thomasians out there, if they were asked who will be or who is their favorite professor, they would surely answer that you are one of them. And back in those days, do you have any favorite professors? Do you still remember them? Or
Yes. Well, a genius like Father Manuel Piñon, who was my professor in logic when I was a freshman philosopher, and he became my best friend later. And of course, Antonio Piñon, his brother, even though he was not my professor, he was my favorite philosophy mentor in that sense. Of course, Dr. Villaba, and Dr. Galang. He was the one actually who forced me to memorize word for word a book in philosophy, and I think that really helped me a lot with my scholastic background. So it's a good background in philosophy. So I owe them a lot.
Okay. So sir, how about those profs that you found were strict, or do you have any profs that you really didn't like that much?
I like all of them because I like engaging intellectually with them. So maybe they're not my favorites, but I think I love all my professors because by the mere fact that they are teachers and professors, that's already a vocation, and it's a calling, no? Second only to priesthood.
So sir,
And the third vocation, third vocation that is in my list is being a carpenter.
carpenter. Why naman, sir?
Well, Jesus Christ was a master carpenter and teacher. So,
Okay.
so God Himself chose two professions,
Yes.
being a carpenter and being a teacher. But among the two, He preferred to be a master teacher rather
Okay.
than a master carpenter. See? Okay.
So sir, do you have any messages to your past professors?
Oh, they're dead.
For
So,
example, they can hear you right now in heaven.
Well, of course, I'm just kidding that okay, some of them are still alive. Well, thank you very much to all of them. I think being a teacher is to become a part of the student, whether the student likes it or not, whether the student really learns from him or not, whether the student appreciates something from the professor. What is important is that the teacher becomes a part of the student, and in that way, I think the teacher himself is the message, and I appreciate the messages.
Okay. So, sir, we'll pause for a quick break and we will be right back here on UST's Meet the Prof.